Thanks for tuning in to the Diaphragm Dynasty. I'm back with another Behind the Pen edition of my podcast. And behind the pen, I will have Terrius Nash, which is also known as The Dream. Now, he's one of my favorite writers, songwriters of all time, and that's any genre, just because of the amount of hits and productivity he's able to put together. He has one of the most productive pens in music, period. Just be, a lot of artists have, like Neo, kind of calmed down on his writing, which I've done him as a song behind his pen before, but he kind of like slowed down. There was a time where his pen was very active, but he kind of slowed down. Dream has been working pretty much exclusively with Beyonce, but he's putting other hits on other artists as well. And he talked about it before in a Breakfast Club interview. His hit and miss ratio is very low. He's more likely gonna give you a hit than a miss. So for the most part, he is the most productive and one of the most efficient pens as well, which is also important. Just not producing a lot, but having efficiency as well. Anytime that he writes a song, well, in the past, it would usually have a on there, and that's how you knew he wrote it. Songs like Umbrella and things like that. But he has written from, and talk about range, he's written for artists ranging all the way from Kim Kardashian all the way to Beyonce, which is just insane to think about, right? But he has that different range of being able to write for any artist and write from a female perspective as well, which I'll get into in a little bit. But similar to Neo, he has written a lot of songs for Beyonce and Rihanna, songs that made help put their careers to the next level, to help them cross over to that pop world, to have people take them more seriously. They ended up getting Super Bowl solo stages as well. So these artists became uh, monumentally great or astronomically great, pushed them to that next level, to push them to household names and superstardoms. Now you can mention their name in any demo and people know what you're talking about. That's very unique to do, especially coming from an urban world. It's very difficult to cross over like that because a lot of people don't want to mention your greatness or realize your greatness. But once you become so great, they have no choice. Um, but he has writing credits dating all the way back to 2003 for Britney Spears. Um, I was first aware of The Dream back in 2007. I want to say sophomore year in college, when he started his solo project, that Love Hate album, which I definitely will have to cover soon because that's one of my favorite albums from the R&B world. He definitely had put out a great project, but I love him more as a songwriter. But he's great, I believe, as well as a artist himself. But the reason I became interested in him is because of the songwriting. Because back then I didn't realize, back in '07, I just started realizing this, that solo artists, were songwriters as well. So then that's when I started paying attention to the the credits and the CD covers and things like that, because I was like, wait a minute, The Dream wrote these songs, and he wrote songs while he was still an artist, like Umbrella and things like that. This was around the same time with Umbrella. So I was thinking to myself, like, man, let me look into see other songs that he's written. And he's written so many great songs um for us, Umbrella from Rihanna, B2K's Everything. Um then I found out, he wrote Jay Holiday songs around the same time. So he was very active with his pen. So the Jay Holiday songs Bed and Suffocate, which is easily or undeniably Jay Holiday's two biggest songs of his career. And I don't think he really made any big songs after that. He might have had one or two, but those songs were the biggest hits of his career. And when he was at the top peak of, what he was doing, he contributed, to Chris Brown from the exclusive album, that song You, which is one of my favorite Chris Brown songs. The heavy contribution that he had on Jamie Foxx album Intuition with the song Slow, Rain Man, Digital Girl. Um, Beyonce's Love on Top that he wrote, which is probably one of my favorite Beyonce songs, which I don't know why it sounds like a Christmas song, maybe because it's so feel good. It's such of a feel good song, but he wrote that song as well. Mary J. Blige is Just Fine, which has those elements of the ooh in it, which he puts in some of his songwriting. Nivea's Complicated, which he has kids with Nivea. Usher's Moving Mountains, Raheem Devon's Customer song. A lot of these great hits that he's put together in the R&B world, not just for himself, but for others. He did a lot of contributions as well on that new Beyonce's country album that she put out, Cowboy Carter. and he's pretty much been a staple in that household as far as contributing, because he's contributed to Jay-Z songs as well on choruses, not on the raps, of course, but on choruses and things like that. He talked about having the Rockefeller chain. He's pretty much a Carter now from all the songs that he's contributed over the last, probably 4 or 5 albums from Beyonce, because they work very well together. That collaboration has made them probably, millions, if not close to billions at this point. But they have done a lot of great work together, a lot of great collabs, and he has that special, unique relationship with Beyonce. And I think his, um, career is closely tied to her, because Beyonce doesn't, get out to a lot of people a lot. So when she finds a collaborator, she sticks with that person. And I think they have a lot of trust there too, as well, which is great between the songwriter and the artist, having that trust of, hey, I got this song for you. It's going to work. Even if you feel it doesn't, they have that trust between each other, because they have put a lot of pieces together, and all the pieces matter for all those Wire fans out there. But in terms of recognition of songwriting, he doesn't really get it a lot, because there is a lot of Beyonce hate, which is another topic I'll cover pretty soon. But he doesn't get that credit as you know, as one of, writers for some of those bigger artists that are maybe country music artists, or like even the R&B, some other R&B artists that get, just because of who he's associated with and the hatred people have towards the Carter family and Beyonce and their name and Jay-Z and things like that. But he's a great storyteller, and he has a unique ability to write from a female's perspective and a male's perspective. Some of the great work he's done, even on the 50 Shades Darker soundtrack, that song Cold Blue, which is one of my favorite songs. I wish that was another song that he would have gave to Beyonce, because I think she would have did better with it, as an artist, than he would have been able to do with it. Even though I think she would have never probably did that soundtrack. She really doesn't do soundtracks anymore, more solo projects and things like that. But The Dream is definitely one of the best writers that you should be knowledgeable of and familiar with his catalog, because you definitely might not know him, but you definitely know his music. So as always, until next time, I'll see you next time.